Hey out there, legal warriors. In this video, I'm going to cover 5 critical mistakes to avoid when working with a defense attorney in Washington State. Are you interested in the criminal law? Are you interested in learning about mistakes to avoid when working with any type of professional? Well, if so, stay tuned because this is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. Now I'm just going to jump into it. 5 critical mistakes to avoid when working with your criminal defense attorney in Washington State. And I've been an attorney for nearly 30 years as an attorney, and there's a lot of things I've learned from working with clients. So I'm going to cover the 5 mistakes that you should avoid if you're a client. I think the biggest and most important mistake to avoid is failing to ask for what you need, right? If you need something from an attorney, ask for it. Hey, I know it might be difficult, but would it be okay if you only communicate with me by text message because I don't tend to listen to my voicemail? Hey, what I really need from you is, can you give me a step-by-step breakdown of what to expect, because I'm a little more anxious than the average person and this is very important to me, right? We all tend to think that people sort of know what we want, right? It's almost rude sometimes to ask for what you want in life, right? And that can work with our partners too. They should know what we want, right? And so we're not in the habit of asking for what we want or asking for what we need. So it's a really good idea to give your attorney a chance to satisfy your needs by letting them know what they are, right? So we've learned from doing the defense side for more than 20 years to sort of lay out a roadmap for what our clients should expect. Hey, we're going to communicate with you by having a follow-up call, the day after you retain us, and there's going to be a video sent to you, and there's going to be a follow-up call at the 3-week mark, and then at a month mark, we're going to send you a survey to let us know if we're sort of anything we can do better for you in your case. And so you really do someone a favor when you do your best to let them know what you need. Because unless we know that there's some particular thing that you need, hey, I would like to have an extra phone call, or I would like to be told again I'm not going to jail type stuff, unless you tell us that, we just don't know it, and therefore you might not be as satisfied, and you might end up having a worse experience. So I think one critical mistake to avoid is staying silent about your needs, okay? So the second mistake that I think is to be avoided is sort of making assumptions about how your case should be handled, right? Let's assume you've hired a qualified and highly rated attorney. Why would you hire anyone else, right? Well, they're probably going to know how to do their job. And so you might want to ask, about how they're going to do the job, but assuming that, hey, your attorney should be going out and interviewing witnesses because that's what you see on TV, or assuming that they should be talking to the prosecutor. Why haven't you talked to the prosecutor? Your court's in a week. Well, you don't know how it really works. You don't know what's best for your case. You might have ideas, but that's not based upon experience. And it's not likely based upon something that's actually going to work. So, why don't we talk to your prosecutor right away? Well, because early on the prosecutor's answer is no, because they're going to be upset with you and there's not enough time pass. Well, why aren't we interviewing witnesses? Well, we don't need to give more weight to the police report. The more we focus on the report, the more the prosecutor does. And guess what? That report is written up against you. Okay, and if we go out and start interviewing state witnesses right away, well, they're going to ask for prosecutor help, and now all negotiations off the table. But you didn't know that because you made a whole bunch of assumptions, right, about how it should work because you supposedly know best. Well, you don't. Okay, if you hired a decent attorney, it's really a great idea to ask questions, and then we're totally okay with anyone making suggestions, but you don't want to start making assumptions that someone doesn't know what they're doing or isn't working on your case in the right way because of some preconceived idea that has no basis in how whoever you hired actually has been successful in the past. So I think that that's the number 2 thing to avoid. 3, the third critical mistake to avoid is failing to do what your attorney asks. So, don't just ignore what your attorney asks you to do. They're asking you to do it for a reason, right? And we've covered that in some other videos, but if an attorney needs you to do something for the case, it's probably because it's for the case, not because we really want you to do it. Hey, could you, for your own good, hey, could you go do an anger management class? Well, do we think you have an anger problem? No, probably not, but maybe that would look really good and helpful for the court in dropping a no contact order, or for the prosecutor to feel they've responded to your case, or maybe you would benefit from it, right? Hey, we need you to do an alcohol evaluation quickly because there's some favorable prosecutor that might leave, and before you have your evaluation done, we can't negotiate it, so do it quick. And then if you don't go do it quick, you've just frustrated the defense, and it's less likely to have a good outcome, and you're going to get less communication from us probably too then, right? Because it's frustrating for both sides. So a mistake to avoid is failing to follow what your attorney that you paid good money for wants you to do to give you the best chance. I think similarly, number 4 is a little bit the same, and I'm going to call it going to ground. Avoid going to ground, which means just hiding out, right? This has been happening a little bit more lately with people stressed out and all the political and health anxieties in the world that they just quit responding to your attorney, or maybe you owe money and you're afraid they're calling about money. Well, that's not necessarily the case, right? If your attorney is trying to communicate with you, try to communicate back, or they'll just quit trying to communicate with you, right? And you don't want them not thinking about your case and not working on your case. So the mistake to avoid is avoid failing to communicate, right? Try to communicate timely with your attorney, right? And there's text messages, there's phone calls, emails are maybe the worst, at least from our point of view. Sometimes they're hard to find, but within reason, try to stay in contact with your attorney, especially when they're reaching out to you, because it's usually because they're trying to help you. And then I think number 5, the fifth thing to avoid is taking anything personally, right, in the case, right? You don't want to take anything personally in the case or working with your lawyer. If the report says something really bad about you, that doesn't mean that we believe it or we think there's anything bad about you. That's just someone's version, right? We're on your side. Don't take personally if we want you to do, a domestic violence class or DVMRT. It's not because we necessarily think that's, some moral flaw of yours. It's something that we need for the case, right? Don't just, personalize anything that goes on in the criminal system, because no one knows you, right? The judge doesn't know you, the police officer doesn't know you, right? We're going to operate under the assumption that you're a great person, and hopefully your attorney will do that as well. So sometimes it can feel very personal what's in the system, and it makes sense because it's against you, but that's not really, you're just a report. Hopefully you're just a case in the system, and we're going to point out all the good things to make you a real person, and we're going to just ignore all the, push away the bad things. So avoid taking things personally, because it'll make you go to ground, it'll make you not listen to what the lawyer wants you to do, it'll make you not ask for what you need. All of it sort of adds up together, because being charged with a crime is challenging. So these are 5 critical mistakes to avoid. And the thumbnail on this video, the first picture is like, why won't my lawyer talk to me? Well, that's sort of to get attention, right? The way the thumbnail's written like that, but it also relates to this, right? If you quit talking to your lawyer, they'll quit talking to you, right? If you don't do what they ask, well, they're less likely to ask you to do stuff, right? Because it's a team effort. We're in it together. So hopefully you can avoid those mistakes, and hopefully your lawyer will be really great and do a great job for you, and all in all, that you'll get a good result. So I hope you found this video useful. If so, please like and please subscribe. More people will get to see it. And more importantly, if you need some help, right? If you need a criminal defense attorney, feel free to reach out to my firm. We've been doing this for more than 20 years. We'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.